Gotta love that chapter's cover page. That's Sorochi for you. Never change, Gorilla. Never change. It's not certain that the series will officially end in the next chapter, but the end is certainly near. It has been a wild ride, but all good things must come to an end. Switching to a monthly basis has been favoring Sorochi a lot more with his polished art, choreograph, and sincerity. This chapter is no exception. With the series close to the end, you can expect intense action, plenty of heartfelt moments, and a sublime reunion that made the journey worth exploring. It's an interesting start with the focus on Sadaharu, and is one of the core of the chapter. This would mean Sadaharu is bound to return anytime now. Granted, the series is closing, so that should be expected, right? Some wise man confirmed that Sadaharu's current state isn't dead, nor alive. He's in between, and won't come out for a reason unknown. It all relies on Earth's life, since that's technically the energy source, let alone the planet he lives in. His word of advice to Kagura is to protect his home until he returns. This appears to be the motivation for her to return home after searching through many planets to find a solution to his awakening. God knows how many planets out there. It's reasonable for her to go back and do what's best for Sadaharu. It's quite emotional when the scene returns to the present time as Kagura keeps her hope for him. At the very least, she must protect his home, and maybe one day, life will go back to the way things were. When he does wake up, I can expect one hell of an emotional moment. Then again, it is Yorozuya, so you can see why it will be. There's a pretty nice moment with Nobleman and Shinsengumi, with crap load of enemies keep on piling. Nobleman insists Shinsengumi to tag along with Yorozuya and let her take care of the enemy. It gives them a bad feeling of deja vu, but it's an order. Best men, don't listen to order. Yamazaki and others stand by her for support while the main group goes forward. As they say, this time, the chief and the director are going to stay alive. That's really well said. Similar scenario, different outcome. I love these guys to no end. With their scene done, it shifts back to the moment where fans were shook from the last chapter's cliffhanger. The conflict with Usuro is intense as hell. It ignites a chilling sequence with Gintoki trying to stop him from killing Tatsuki. I love the stare down from each other. No matter what, the image of Usuro is what drives Gintoki mad. It's a heart-pounding moment until the most brutal display happens. Usuro cuts Tatsuki's neck. The panel itself got me cringe hard. I read Sennin series with far more graphic scenes, but this, for some reason, had me gasping. Arguably, it's the most brutal scene in the series. After Gintoki fails to save him, Usuro does what he does best: taunt with a smile. Gintoki wasn't having any of it. He engaged a quick, tense action between the two. He pierced his sword right through Usuro's eye. Damn, that was brutal as well. He's going all in for the kill. No mercy at all. The image of Usuro vanishes and is one of the Tendoshu that emerges. Because of his immortality, he can go on forever. Essentially, it's a battle of sub-Usuro. Gintoki gets overwhelmed and pushed back near the edge where Tatsuki's body still lies. How dark. Tendoshu treats Usuro as his god. Clearly the manipulation runs deep after consuming his blood. He's grateful to be blessed with immortality, something that fits perfectly well to their despicable nature. From the elevator lobby, someone was closing in to assassinate Gintoki. It's another Tendoshu. Just before he was about to cut him down, Tatsuki rises from the grave and stops him in the nick of time. Wow, that was tense. That was a very close call, and yet I feel more hyped than ever. Tatsuki is still alive, but barely. Really? Seriously, barely. His regeneration is barely working as his neck has yet to be healed. So if it stops working, he will die from the neck slice. He's favoring that over the stab. This still haunts me to believe his death can happen here. Unless there's a miracle before the end, his time is very near. Instead of remaining negative, the positive is his great response to Tendoshu's words. They don't need immortality. They don't need Usuro's blood. They don't need to follow their prophecy. Tatsuki, Gintoki, and Kasura came here on their own free will. They decide what needs to be done. They decide what life they want to be part of. They decide what their master Shoyo has taught them. It's his teaching that encouraged them up to this point. It's why they are together, ups and downs. Shoyo's disciples and his teachings live on. Even if Tatsuki does kick the bucket, at least he will accomplish on eliminating the enemy. That would be good enough for him to die in peace. There's a solid action sequence with Kasura, who's still falling in the elevator hall. The enemy outnumbers him significantly, but that doesn't stop him from being crafty. He lays out multiple bombs and all of them explode to not only kill them, but distract them. That's a clever move, as expected from the one and only Kasura. He bounces on the enemy to reach after Hisugi and thrusts his sword at him before the cannon sets off. I'm going to miss this type of action. The explosion erupts, and Yorozuya and Shinsengumi witness it. They are so close for a big reunion. Right before Kasura is about to go against tons of enemies, Shinsengumi, out of all people, protects him. And now, fighting alongside with him. This is all kinds of marvelous. Because they want to help him out, this leaves Yorozuya on their own to meet up with Gintoki. Another great friendship display with Hijikata, Kondo, and Sogo share their best of luck to them. In a rare moment, despite the two groups always have conflicting issues, even if it is play for laugh, Yorozuya gives their thanks to them. Yeah, the end is really near. The chapter shifts to an exhilarating action. Tatsuki can fight, but he's badly injured, so he's not at his best. Not to mention, he's practically staring at his deathbed by this point. It doesn't harm the battle sequence because it does have slick choreograph. It's intense as hell. At one point, Gintoki slammed his sword hard on one of Tendoshu's head, only to get slammed on the wall hard. His face is about to get pierced, only for Tatsuki arrives to save him. Another close call. It's hard to do it justice here, but when you see it, you'll be absorbed. The small intermission ensues as Tatsuki comes up with a plan to defeat the two immortals. They are near the core of Altana. Since it is going berserk due to the absorption, if they cut it open, it will cause a blast radius. Despite them being immortal, the effect can deplete their blood and body. It's the only way to defeat them. There's just one problem. Tatsuki is part of it as well. In other words, everyone with Usuro's blood will die. He is ready to pay his life. For fans, this is unnerving. Once they move, it enters the best action scene of the chapter. Once more, we are presented with great choreograph, breathtaking sequence, especially at the end, and pretty suspenseful. Gintoki and Tatsuki pretending to jump off to their demise, only to fool the two Tendoshu and use them for landing. Great stuff. Because of a crash, Yorozuya noticed it, which means they are not far. That panel alone, realizing they are very close to Gintoki, got me so excited. Tatsuki takes brutal stabs from both ends, but he's fine with it. It made it much easier to grab them and hold them until the explosion of Altana arrives. The battle of who will die first begins. He is prepared for his final send-off, dragging the two to hell with him. The silent panel of Gintoki aimed to cut the core is the defining moment to put an end for all of them. By this point, fans slowly begin to cry. He sliced the core, and the blast begins the countdown to Tatsuki's end. Honestly, Tatsuki's final moment is very convincing and gut-wrenching. One Tendo shoe vanishes from the blast, but so does Tatsuki's right arm. I was stunned and afraid to read further. I really didn't want to believe he will die, but here he goes. The second Tendo shoe tries to kill him, but he's already prepared for death. Badass to the very end. His monologue is even more convincing that his time is here. He doesn't regret dying this way, honoring Shoyo to the end. One page convinced me, closing his eyes, to accept his fate. I expected his spirit to remember everyone and then vanish. Man, tears are shed. It's only now Gintoki doesn't want another Infinity War ending, so he denies accept the fate and springboard to save him. This is godsend. If this was animated in a movie theater, audience will cheer loudly. Gintoki saves him at the cost of him falling down, staring at Tatsuki that reads, "Live on, you fool." Man, tears once again are shed, and it's not the last. Why? Because what follows up is beautiful. Gintoki pushes Tatsuki away from the blast, which means the other Tendo shoe lives on as well. Another problem is, Gintoki is falling without a weapon to fight back, so he's clearly done for. Tendo shoe becomes incredibly cocky that he has this one. Then, the best miracle that even Christmas Miracle can't match happens. Right before he swings for the kill, he's suddenly stopped by two weapons out of nowhere. The two are Shinpachi's sword and Kagura's umbrella. That's right, they are there at last to save their beloved Gin. The reunion is finally here and is remarkable. Yes, they are not physically close, but their presence has reconnected at last. As Gintoki say, "No need to yell. I can hear ya. I always could." Man, tears overflow. Gintoki smacks the hell out of Tendo shoe with the sword. He then proceeds to use the umbrella, something I would never thought of seeing but welcoming, and blasts him to the core to his death. What a lovely end to that bastard. That was just glorious. It's an amazing way to end the chapter. It's not lovely, however, when a guy shoots a rocket launcher at Kagura's position and the explosion pushes her away, which proceeds Sadaharu's shell to pop out, falling down to the pit. We just can't catch a break, can we? Will Sadaharu finally wakes up, or will he fall and nothing will change? This was an outstanding chapter with sheer intensity from start to finish. There are plenty of great moments for many characters. The tension was mind-numbing, the overall action was incredible, Tatsuki's near-death scene was very convincing and powerful. The visual is pretty solid throughout with its great choreograph. To top it all, the reunion was well worth the wait. It's only the beginning, so expect more heartfelt moments. Will the series end in the next chapter? It's possible, but with Zorochi, you never know. It's only a matter of time. The end is near. It's been a blast. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If there is one more chapter, well, I don't know what to expect. We have to wait and see. And that's what we have been doing as a fan. If the next chapter truly is the last one, it has been a great ride. I don't regret any second of it. What do you think of the chapter? Do you believe the next chapter is the final chapter? Are you excited? Or are you gonna get ready to cry even more than the last time when we thought it was the final chapter but it wasn't? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.